Expectations from internal and external stakeholders alike are ever increasing. There is a driving force to continuously provide value and demonstrate positive and measurable impact for invested resources, regardless of whether they be financial, human, or time in nature. No different than other actors in the humanitarian field, the Federation and its membership are expected to achieve more, often with fewer resources. Furthermore, we are expected to do so with transparency, accountability, all the while efficiently and effectively managing our risks. Transparency, accountability, risk management. Those are some big words, some big and important words. They are not just your typical buzzwords, which people can define in many ways, so many different ways even. As the largest humanitarian network in the world, we have a responsibility to not only talk about these concepts, but walk the walk, live and breathe them, just like we do for our 7 fundamental principles. So what do they mean? In this context, and for the purpose of this workshop, let's define them in more detail. First, let's look at risk management. Risks are defined as actions or events that could prevent us from achieving our goals or implementing our strategies. And we do have some very important goals and strategies to protect. Various types of risks can jeopardize our ability to do just that. They include types like human resources, logistics, project management, financial, reputational, and technological, and the list goes on, unfortunately. As per the IFRC's Secretariat Risk Management Framework, risk management means having in place a corporate and systematic process for evaluating and addressing risks, which involves taking calculated risks and avoiding unwanted and unnecessary ones. We should not leave it up to chance. There are many strategies one can employ to do so. The main ones include one, or a combination of, reducing, transferring, avoiding, or accepting those risks. The most appropriate strategy to take will depend on the circumstances and the context. We do so because we don't want to avoid all risks, but take them when it makes sense to do so, in return for taking advantage of a potential opportunity. For example, we promote preparedness and prevention on a daily basis. How important it is to not only respond to disasters when they happen, but to have the tools and knowledge ahead of time to minimize their impacts on the world's most vulnerable. For example, we pre-position stock, we train volunteers, we have local, national, and even global tools to provide surge capacity when they're needed the most. We don't merely respond, we do so much more. We manage our risks. It is widely recognized that an effectively, well-planned, organized, and controlled approach to risk management is the foundation of sound management practice. Strengthening this culture at all levels is a critical success factor and can promote accountability and transparency. So let's now define accountability. According to the proposed accountability framework of the International Federation and its members, prepared by One World Trust, accountability can be defined as follows. In being accountable, one fulfills a commitment to enable stakeholders to assess one's actions against defined commitments and expectations, and to respond to the assessment appropriately. As per Strategy 2020, we are committed to a culture of transparent accountability to our stakeholders. These are the people we serve, those who entrust us with resources for action, people who work within the IFRC, governments, and the external partners who collaborate with us. They are entitled to see how we assess needs and vulnerabilities, set priorities, design specific interventions, monitor implementation, measure results, and assess impact. As self-governing national societies and the IFRC Secretariat, we are accountable, most importantly, to the clients of our services, but also to our members, our partners, and our volunteers, the superheroes behind the work we do, and other stakeholders. We also recognize that how we perform within our own organizations reflects on the credibility and reputation of other national societies and the IFRC as a whole. Therefore, as we have an obligation to each other to uphold common standards, we are committed to compliance and accreditation within a federation-wide performance and accountability framework. Which leads us to our final concept, transparency. According to Transparency International, the global coalition against corruption, everyone has rules, plans, processes, and actions. Transparency is about shedding light on these. It is knowing why, how, what, and how much. Transparency ensures that public officials, civil servants, managers, board members, and business people alike act visibly and understandably and report on their activities. It also means that the general public can hold them to account. It is one of the surest ways of guarding against corruption and helps increase trust in the people and institutions on which our future depends, on which the world's most vulnerable depend. Transparency is an important component of accountability, and these two concepts are extremely important in a well-functioning risk management framework. Together, these components contribute to operating with integrity and fostering trust amongst key stakeholders, including donors, employees, volunteers, suppliers, partners, and most importantly, beneficiaries and clients. So, let us work together to strengthen our culture of accountability, transparency, and risk management within the movement, so we can better serve our stakeholders and continue to achieve our very important objectives of addressing the needs of the world's most vulnerable through the power of humanity.